Ade chimini enkrasi DUMSOR no. Ana ekwaso no.
Then DUMSOR baba. Then kwa na esi. Then aba.
DUMSOR chimi mu nkrasi semu. Den as any party tibia. Wajimi ya wen bibi enye yi.
Yamjina he na me da so mu all true.
DUMSOR ya huru bi pay.
Aye.
Na etimi manage.
Emobi like gibi. Ya kan jere obi a.
So what is happening? What is happening that it has become like a canker? I see a console into me.
Na atorenchem kese a eto ye ananu yi ewo akosomo anyinamankane no a eja ehyehe ye control center a enu ntino ama anyinamankane no ahokyere kakra abetomu na ye fremo se ye mamo emu enchechiremu ne ekoso nyame ncha de engineers omo ye adwuma ne menemo kasa de emfidie ne eyensia mienu omatimi ede aba no eye adwuma omugusu a ne etoso miensa no omde no so ba nti nyame ya adoma enche na otwe mu yebeso ano na enkanea no esagina na kumasefo yede adesronko eba ho eye monyina mankanea na ehamo no yebeso ano yebekora na agina yie na moso monya enkanea ebeboa mo yede transformers afoforo eba cables afoforo new power generation any enfidinyuma bebre eba ho a ebeboa enye kumase nko a eye Ashanti region ene Ghana afana nyina na yenimse ni aba no e atorenchem kese na yenyina yenim kura se bibise besi nanso atoyen a efi ye yire ye ho na ye so ano na ye dijuma no nti mo a monkane na edundum no enye boapayo yenimse mo penkane no enkane no so enche bia ebegina medamose bebre.
Ejona Wojinapo, Minister of Energy and Green Transition of Ghana, and yet say o kasano. Na after Akosombo Ashi no any who say CEO of Gridco, Nipa Awasha Akosombo and a Huns and Samsono, Yakachen say Uncle Nanchain, and I say on train hokaka, no money investigation pertaining this control center action. Nano na be who say oh, who he has an anka say Pamo a CEO, and I say Yamano Nanchain, if the CEO no, or co leave the that or leave letter no February mu or co leave, and I saw Besako pension cry and uti, na who here cry na. Sa action no unnecessary. Honorable John Junapo HRS na necessary pa if he say or tranche beboa amoma investigation.
Yes, I visited the site I think on Friday, and after receiving the briefing I was convinced that he needed to step aside. It's in his own interest. You just spoke about conspiracy theory, all kinds of speculations and accusations. In fact, it helps him that when he steps aside and we conduct an impartial investigation. And it's done without prejudice. If you look at my letter on Friday, I stated that without prejudice, I've directed as minister that he steps aside. That is different from taking your normal leave. This is not a normal leave. If it's a normal leave, you can choose to come back. It's a normal leave. We can recall you and say that forgo your leave because we need you, especially in this critical moment. This is a ministerial directive, and so shall it be. Timely updates on when the areas will be affected. We've been providing that. In the past, sometimes we tend to try to dribble and deceive the people. You can't deceive the people forever. There are people at Gridco who will speak to the other party. It's not everybody who will be aligned to the government in any organization.
Now after this, amount for Oheneni Dazwa, Prophet Kofi Oduro, Kwame Tanko, and then the explanation between Omanhene Kwabena Sante and Obi. Just say, Utia, Utimse Kumasi for the year, this year, dear, DUMSOR no, Omonina to the end of the year. Ebeha drink a cry. Nana Brefo's reaction from United States of America. And then Captain Smart is also Sema Oka say NDC for so ding, and no maybe as a President John Dramani Mahama, and case or yet the dada.
Now, timetable near say from this time up to this time, a bedroom light. Now, what you're crossing even Ojan, what you mean? Sending planning a jail, said you. I don't know the before, Eddie be a so. Are DUMSOR Jimmy Moon crosses them. Then as any party tibia, what Jimmy and be being ye. There. DUMSOR, but DUMSOR. Now that DUMSOR when I was on the Jimmy DUMSOR. eye Jimmy DUMSOR and Ecoson. Ni pakura o tie ho a o Jimmy ho sa no. Mo me aka bi tira mo. Eye Jimmy DUMSOR and Ecoson. Adia no no. Eye class system no no. Eye village behavior. Electricity no am matutumu no. Yes you yate. Say me every week be am top 400. Every week me top 400. But yes you yate. Ada na dia me di sika koto no. Me timi nyusu. Makoto prepaid. Me ne oka. Ade ti na me nyusu. Eye Jimmy DUMSOR na koso. Ase chinchire twa bi ni pakro no so waboda mo se di asemo. Chinchire twa bi jo wat afe. Kropo bu san de minim bone e dia ye ni pakro no. Ewo. Na brapa.
Malady.
Enra no pa no sia.
No dum no.
Mimi tu kwan. Me bae no. Me bedu fie no 3 o'clock no ne adum no. Ba me rame ne me wo fridge ndie na aye no. Na mu so mdum light na che. Me bu sa no so mdum na no pa 6. Mo so 3:30. No ma say no ndum 6. No ma so no ma che anopa 6. Enya Jimmy DUMSOR. Eti anu no.
Ano odin o.
Eti anu no. Na yesi obi so obi na sabotage o se de yo. Ghana ebetumi aye. We are naturally bombarded. They betumi aye. Yeni a na na Kofi chicha transform him.
Aye.
Na yeni Ghana.
Ne wa ha.
Enu ye chicha transform him say DUMSOR mra na baby nya on popular.
No kwasem.
Yeni Ghana ha say.
Ne wa ha.
Titi akoso ne no. Wo bi betumi asechire.
Aye sa ne ma we.
Chimisam sa. Yes re perifo. Wa mo mama ni na o. Ya papa jina po. Mo mama ni na o.
Na mo hwe ne emam.
Na mo sore. Titi ni asante region ha. Na DUMSOR tie.
Ano odin.
Eye Jimmy mututu. Ni pakra odum no no. Wa Jimmy too much. Adai. Mitia na brampa.
Malady.
Chame.
Gaga.
Because mana. Esa na uti na pressure kwaso. Mi ko to prepaid. Mi tuaka.
Okotua.
Ada na dia me tuaka. Mi timi ndusu.
Ano odin.
Just o mind obi aba no be fe
Do
John.
bia no ye.
Mo aba fe John. Akwala ketua. So de sabe adwuma. Sheka wabo. Ede chimi ni enkurase DUMSOR no no. Ana ekoso no no. DUMSOR ya huru bi pen.
Aye.
Na yetimi manage.
Emo bia ya like bi. Ya kan kire obi a.
Any village behavior. Wow, search na wo yesa no. Say ya no kura onyame nkum. Wonyame nkum. Why? Mo de mo wa plant sisi mu fie.
Eti adum ya na mo de mo de dem.
Mo wa plant na je be tu Thomas shimakumu. Ya ba buru mu nua. Ama mo plant na je tutom. Ate. Adai.
Malady.
Na ma chire dogon.
O ma chire exagu yachi.
Ku be so anu da kura enye. Every friend say plam.
Na mo kamo so ko every friend.
Ye mu ya wo chire so ya kono de so. Mo be chire exagu yachi. E di DUMSOR na be ke kono de so asisi ya se. E so de aka ho. Mo bottom.
I don't care who is leading the nation. In this case, it doesn't have to happen. A nation that is 70 years. All through. But there was so best to what and what the yaba. Let this stop. Let the nonsense stop. Stop it. And oftentimes when we are talking about things like this, dangerous things like galamsey, now person we in a party, for our party, not all. I don't want to hear it. Obi to prepare see announce and be the party. Are you serious? What they be a party? What do we care about your party? Can you get me to be fan say 50 Ghana be a 2 weeks? Say what toy ya 2 days or next day or so santo. Now what the episode the party? We don't care about your party. Church and can you talk can near 1,000? It can take us to like 1.5 weeks. Now we buy 1,000 and not the same week now we need to buy another 1,000. And you are calling that a
hey yeah. Of our home. But let me say this, and I'm putting it on record, say. Yeah. The first coming of John Dramani Mahama, Obeji Dinse Odum Kania, no cre, DUMSOR, no cre. Oba bio nipa binum the campaign. Said your mama, Baba DUMSOR bio. Chemos Akufo kasa bi okata me dey me the free senior high school na buy John Mahama dey need DUMSOR. Now the way a manner it is repeating on the second coming of John no ehu hwe mamon tenase enyen hwe han say oh aka a year to the election no yebe dani bibi yebe bibi. The Ghanaian voter now is so sophisticated to the extent that these are the things that inform their decision.
Thank you.
You can't put somebody through pain now at the latter part, no. What because of ye baby. If there's something you have to do and do it now. Do and do it now. And your friend Yaba Trase now heads are rolling. ECG, assistant transformers. I will say. Nanu se me say yes brother I go to ECG ni dia or baby be ase how many days in it? How many weeks have we been experiencing DUMSOR and sana when Eshaba the count and then I make catch said there's something that people are not telling us. I direct it directly to the government.
Yes,
I'm directing it straight to the government. That if there's anything I saw here, they should fix it. Yeah. That is why Ghanaians queued and voted for them. They didn't vote for this. Ghanaians didn't vote for DUMSOR. They voted because we were here when we were told, say, even 1 hour and Kenya Dum after 2016 a haram in this country. Yeah. What happened? Yeah. What happened? Yeah. Dear Nancy, why are we experiencing this? And nobody is saying anything to anybody. Nobody is telling anybody anything. The other thing say ECG4, I mean, are they? And now man for bra. From going to be honest, media crowd they said me makacho. You know, over here there's a generator.
Yeah. You have a plant over there.
But even with that crowd, how long can you keep it on? How long?
Can I do on this DUMSOR matters? Yeah. Who failed on that? It's the beer done. Say DUMSOR bar, and from the MPP days up to today, you have always stuck to a principle that yes. To the yes. Oh, say, me say, I me do say that's what happened. Never need be a kwa one answer. I me the power. Be no him the sister. Yes. Me no. The ambassador me Kenya say. Kwesiko ojina kwentia. Osu kwesiko ojina kwentia. Enough of the politics. Yeah. And sebi nyoma ensem fatal. Enough of these two things now. Leave it for the technocrats for them to come and call the shots. Enough because say John Jinapoka say baby a trim. That's also between or magic one no between there. Clearly we say magic one in your technocrats a bit by Jumano. So maybe MPP before Kasaya who say omuni magic apart from technocrats no any normal who here say the year this year no any proper education understand void of a year will be taking political capital out of a situation. And they do no. So maybe say DUMSOR now say DUMSOR. I don't know who DUMSOR So we should be united in fighting this national canker and stop the partisanship because whether MPP or NDC, we've not killed that problem of DUMSOR. We haven't. We haven't.
Let me explain it this way.
Very good.
I'll start with Niomabia narrative about outer enyanokre. And the narrative are enyanokre. And then the real danger which is before us I was here shani swano. Oman edikai the enyanokre no. Enyanokre say outages na yehu from and let me say started part from January eba. Enyanokre say outages na yehu from January no. All the outages near because of transformers are here replacing. It is not true.
And correct.
Yes. It is not also true, sir. Outages are started from January, no. Ninja because of Akosombo control station. And
correct.
All the outages. But the outages started somewhere in January. In fact, Kumasi Mpodie a year-long problem.
Kumasi from last year. This weekend, what's that? The last time no call weekend, you know, absolutely. Absolutely. 20 times what happened in Kumasi. That's last year and this year. 20 times what happened there.
In Kumasi, the end of the year, a year-long problem. But the rest of the country started somewhere in January. The end of Krensuni, most of the outages are year. One, a be normal faults in the system. In Tibia, cable be a theater from Kania bedum, transformer fuse be a say Kania ebedum, transformer be overloaded, a bit trippy, and no crescent outages need be a year. And no crown so say outages need be a year, transformers no more replace because a man say transformer essay. Near Baby replace here, 2 transformer now, and transformer Juma Ben, transformer a year. And then your friend distributing transformer. And it's a ECG edge power from Gridco or BSP. You're stepping it down because power now a free Gridco transmission lines name air banner. Some power the intimate will fear direct, will fear the jabetum. In the stepping it down into BSP.
Yes, so this will
your Gridco substation and your ECG primary substation. And this is the primary sub. I'm stepping it down about 33 kV and 11 kV. Now, a free hall about distribution transformer ketwana a woofy in China. Now they are stepping it down. Over to me, use a woofy. And the transformer are very critical. There were big transformers, there were small transformers. Big transformers, Oko primary substation now. Transformers never on SSO. But the year come once a year in Ketwana and the power bow fear direct. And on a buying IS, and it didn't start today. Let me also add. Injection of transformers no a work in progress in every year depending on how network necessity no ECG injected transformers. What is happening now no the quantum 3,000 transformers at a go massive. That's what's happening. It is about to be replaced transformer ABI war agbogolosi transformer war hono was still near the for question. Say engineers na ya ho adwuma the new transformer see wa plus or minus by 4 hours they
should be done.
Yes, what it means they say in 4 hours so can you back off and we are different from say you may replace your transformer baby a transformer the fuse be a blow transformer no yeah the fuse for baba sha mo amoda sa fuse ne so no can ya be den ebedum yeah the say we are not can ya na sign in the can ya bedum na sign so aba because of the work on the transformer. It is also true say transformer replacement na air kosono e de kanea edundundundum eba. That's a fact. Good. It is also true say nansay ejana eto
akosomo
Gridco control room wa akosombo no eno so e de
wo sunsanso
kese akosombo generate be 1080 megawatts. 1080 megawatts is huge because total generation capacity be 5,000 and something. 5,000 and something. 1,000 goes off. That's massive. Massive. In 1,000 megawatts, acquire say we Accra any Kumasi every more. 1,000 megawatts can a bit to me a supply be 6 regions.
1,000.
1,000 megawatts a bium. Osha smaller regions they bit to supply be 6. And 1,000 megawatts is off. A massive. In Oman, as we speak, there is load shedding. Because load shedding there. Load shedding NSA generation now a be a free so. And when you said load, what do you do with it? You manage. And then you said the load we do load management. In the load management, amount the timetable eba. Ideally, Oman, say 1,000 megawatts a free swap. E was sank ye manage kakana akana. Into the akana en so yina. In the end, heart of what eda kania mua. What's na Madina Fonso Eden. Adam said they will be a binyan kakra. There are 1,000 megawatts na free total generation capacity, which is massive. In the ideally, e was sank by now yenya timetable from Gridco ni ECG said yeah, 1,000 megawatts na every sona de akano because the total generation capacity over 5,000. And as it says, one man, and I'll come there. And what it means, they say 1,000 megawatts are free, so we have to manage kakana akano. The ideally, was by now timetable.
It's a senka by now.
Yeah, timetable. Until such a time, you be real Juma ye wa kosombo. I'm 1,000 megawatts in ide assign abba. Now for obia bit my day enya kania. Until such a time. What the engineers tell me, and we make a Gridco engineers, So what's happening in Akosombo now? Because the whole control station got bent. The whole thing
got bent.
Bent.
How many control stations? About 5 or
no? I have one. Akosombo.
Okay.
But Great Kosa another control station. Tema.
Okay.
And what they are doing now, they say, some person will sign rebuild this our control station now. It may take it time. They are bypassing it into ammonia power now from Akosombo. They will bypass that control station, bring it to Tema.
Straight.
No matter control from Tema. That's what they are doing now. And that bypass no more, engineers they say within 1 week that's by the end of this week.
This is a technical talking.
Yes. They would be able to do the bypassing. Now Oma control BBR from Tema.
No money adaji.
No money adaji. I rebuild it for somebody.
Okay. If
that 1 week is anything to go by, meaning say outage is not
we are
for 1 week. You can make an argument. Okay, say 1 week in Poa. Still a buying
my timetable.
My timetable. Now will be planning a life for the next 1 week.
Yes.
It's a legitimate argument to me.
Yeah.
But almost 1 week. We are all hoping say 1 week no bet my day. Now you're saying we are meaning say because Akosombo Dam need a jam to it is that 1,000 megawatts
it's still available.
But we need it through the control station. No be to me and that is with Akosombo it's a fact. Say no the issues are then abba. But my fear Omanhene say and let me talk about Kumasi The engineers again tell me say Kumasi is a peculiar problem. Say ombetime wie Kumasi nyina I just say by the end of this year. Because what they want to do in Kumasi is to permanently resolve issues never Kumasi. Kumasi is peculiar. And so last year, 2 years, more peculiar. Because Kumasi no, omo BSP me no. It is no crown load anyway. Eba Kumasi na Kumasi BSP no crown here back on the account. And a idea was a Kumasi the no moshe no mutimi nentem. By the end of this year, they will be able to finish. Now, I'm a Kumasi one thing, but maybe subsequently we'll talk a bit more about Kumasi. Let me come back to the fear I have. The fear I have now, and it's total generation capacity is here. In 2017, time our MPP take it over. I didn't know more capacity. Say you were excess capacity. Oman 8-9 years down the line, as we speak, engineers will tell you, say, for every power system, we have the freno reserve margin. Reserve margin, almost they took 25% of your total generation capacity.
Margin.
As reserve.
In case
of BBA or reserve margin.
The 25 out of our 5,000.
5,000. I will say that as reserve. In the time, an MPP can excess capacity. Now, Omayi reserve not on chain. Still, there was excess. They had issues with it because we were paying for the excess capacity, which is not a problem as it were. Because our power purchase agreement, I'm an IPP in the plant bar, or securities be, and yes, our farmer. And they also take or pay. It's normal with a lot of the PP agreement I sign. You understand? It's a problem. But my challenge now is that, Oman, as we speak, you need reserve margin. Yes. Even when Akosombo 1,000 megawatts never back on streamer. See what it means is that they are generating as a country, and only use.
How did it happen?
Say demand for power it grow year on year. Energy Commission say grow 12%. In absolute terms, that's 400 megawatts every year. Into year on year, your demand air cost 400 megawatts, meaning say every year, I will see a generation capacity of 400 megawatts and the account. We don't do that.
But year on, we'll be about it.
We don't do
That's
that.
The challenge.
In the Siciano, excess capacity now near one.
Babishim.
What we generate and you use. It only, Oman, say, Akosombo back on stream and the Etienne say, power you want you now use. It is a plant never to Chima say, Kim, Oman will be back to load shedding. And that is what I think the Honorable Minister would have to focus on now going forward. Say, we need to bring in some emergency power now. Because even when Akosombo comes back on stream, not see any issue with any of our plants, we have an issue. And I think the minister should look at that. And I am happy, for my conversations and all of that, no, plans are underway to get some, IPPs to come in immediately. Now, at least, a reserve margin, no, enter. So, and yes, our man, in the next 6 months, 1 year, we may be. But as we speak, when him say, because of challenge now, but the power of the Cote d'Ivoire and the Burkina Faso, I say I suspended for some time because we cannot continue. Say actually, that is the situation now. That is the situation now. And I think, and only because and so say MPP buying and excess power, or say they no more canon. They were not very aggressive. Me say Oman for generation capacity be account, but Oman are very aggressive. And that aggression now armor for them to add more generation, no, and also count but I think this administration, should know where we are. We have no reserve margin now, and we need to fast track in getting some emergency power in. Now into me, M1. That's the situation. And by the end of this week, so with me, yes, our bypass from Akosombo to Temana. Then we will get all the 1,000 megawatts from Akosombo on. Now, man, eye is stable. And also, interest after surgery. And I think the minister should also be clear on that to the Ghanaian people. Say, oh man, even when Akosombo back on stream, because they are still injecting some transformers, still a man from Kenya ebedum. Because there are faults in the system, still a man from Kenya ebetimi edum. Ekokoba said in Nancy say Ghana Gas omo planned maintenance work. Na e was omo call off. Na gas no emma. There will be a problem. A man for Kenya ebedum. I think we should holistically explain things to the Ghanaian people. Na obia koma enton. But I think going forward, the issue of our reserve margin, we have to look at it and look at it very, very, very well.
Well,
I just said the assembly.
Well, be well spoken. I feel that I'm Wednesday after Minister Daka say, I'm Wednesday. Me per se, this in-depth analysis. I don't want the minister to be around technocrats to be speaking to us. I want the Ghanaian community to understand that these games that we've played ourselves when it comes to the energy sector is very unfortunate. We have to now sit as a country and have a frank conversation. Maybe if you want to go by what has happened in the past, achieving what we want to achieve going forward, a very difficult. The truth as we speak now, they say the West Second, we should have a timetable to that effect. Two, say problems here. Ashanti region is a peculiar situation, which is going to have another serious matter altogether. Even with our Kosovo generating 1,000 any excess, it will have a problem at hand. That problem cannot be solved politically. That problem cannot be solved just by taking people off their post. That problem is a holistic problem. You need partisan readings, no, in film, and patriotic towards that approach.
A man for Kasena, Obi ECG or sabotage system, and Obi Waha. Oh man, that thing it's complete crap. Complete crap. I mean, I've read in ECG before. Say yes, they have their difficult or more challenges, but man, the best electrical engineers in our country, ECG. All the best electrical engineers from the best schools in Ghana, ECG. They have some of the best brains. This thing where when government's back is against the wall, now you POB the blame a man on obi shebabi no sabotaging obi she. Let's stop those things. Let's stop those. And some are making. So we need reserve margin. FOB or sabotage. But reserve margin ni ho. That's a plant back on echo offer. You would have to set load and phobia or sabotage. Until we need to be to go above sir and come away we tell it's not cool.
The questions were being asked that how are we building our generation, adding on to what we already have? And the issues they raised during 2017 was the fact that we had excesses that was sitting down doing nothing. And ye trees can ye bokantie can who be and ye seek some IBC basa. As we speak, according to Obi, we do not have that luxury of even having a reserve. Talk of having excesses that is sitting somewhere and we are not paying for. They didn't bring any power batch. There was nothing like finding ways in generating more or generating, because that excess we had, now there were issues with finances. You see what the problem is, and it's a year any degenerate here. The rest in and that is a major problem, because you need a lot of dollars to go and buy that fango to be able to put that power plant on and give us that generation we need. Are we also paying the needed amount of money as electricity bills to meet that demand, to be able to allow ECG to do these kind of works to enable almost me abwa na sa repairs no almost more 3,000 this moment come me in kakra, because anytime they go to a PRC asking for increment in electricity, we try to beat it down. Politically, we try to do that because yenim say yentua eka yenti we increase e be hadwene yes kentua, and it would affect the political friend is saying government at that time until we keep suppressing them. The problem with also ECG nanka se munu ECG ne munu say they are also somewhere somehow ineffective. Penyimfo akwa ECG no kwen bi so, because I listened to the big some years back or some time back how people work as a ECG airbo ECG chrono through omo a tongue a year and inam kania and I quarter light e wo mo me kire omo a ya mo contract say a year supermarket bi na we bie na ode no akosha ho na okoto and na say a year filling station bi and na okoto light no ho no ne ade no. Some of them were not directly even it's kind of it didn't even go directly to ECG for coffee. People were ECG no more bypass nibi to say near Greekos akoso mo person mo bypass na to me use temadi control station temadi. Some were stealing. In fact, I remember say NDC took over no. Even the former chairman Afenyoma Kene minority leader came out to say, look, he saw certain things that were being done, because minister also said that look, they don't even clear it. No matter how I got the mortgage. No more couple be manaqua clear. No matter how fetch no. One year ready so I turn obey and I buy I don't even know how that system works. It doesn't make sense because ECG is for government. Na go na kwadi mortgage na ya sapa obi manakwa akoto ni afa etira akoto nipa dasani ho kronunti. And we still live in this problems. People within a year ECG sabotaging, thieving. And we are here today. Mimi fear and say the thermal plant eba. Time at the moment the way you cry and told be a tough and woguma. Sika the better. Abayi took over. John Jinapo came to tell us say car wet fashion. It was all about money. How to even buy fuel that we had just 1 week. 1 week reserve, 1 week at that time. At that time. So what is happening? What is happening that it has become like a canker? What is going on? Akwaya canker be a kamia say etia konso yentumi nya hwere. Ekwa anaba. Etekwa anaba. Etekwa anaba. Aha. Snow. Eto. Weather changes. In fact, this spring you cry. Oh, na is a summer. The same day na say changing now. What do just say baby you are freezing. And it's even affecting me. And I had to close early because the change affected me so badly. My just my system no koyi. Yet they have solar, and I showed you one in Virginia. They have solar panels. I had trained them kanya at the power. Kofi adwuma mo ye. I code no ba. Also machine and if you ma heat kakra bon kakra ma we freeze no. O bill cost what you use is what you pay. They don't have that luxury of having a 365 days in a year. We do have it. I've seen wind generation, wind from why does it look like we still live in 1540 when people are advancing, going into just or more space, doing things, applauding them cost space because we munu chomusia na ye go to DUMSOR mo aye ka ho asem every time DUMSOR what is the problem?
Sagana for Bekaya 2nd January 2025 and abrantia na owo Kumase oye MPP spokes communicators na ba ko owodi bi e different no poyando I say NDC abai die DUMSOR ebeba I say NDC abai die DUMSOR be ebeba Justin Kodria oye MPP General Secretary say ye kan mo kan time me Justin Kodria say ye kan say NDC ba power DUMSOR beba Mafia Mahama winning election when you catch and say kewo there was strategic institutions bi wo krom ha me ye Ghana mampedi and na woto abama me ECG top hierarchy na mepa mo bia member of fine package Kofi fabi koye treasury bill fabi top bond me nyi we disa na won konkobre wo ye Ghana ni je wo deserve ni kakra ni jeko mu ina obi a be jeko wo ji a na wo ko memma usika bum memma wako hwe me sabit wasa na VR na ma be di president na VR boss na mbeto no woda to memma usika jeko na commande wo me ja kwan fefe Greco penny afena jomama be pam Greco. We sat here with JB and told you that there are certain state institutions at John pam nkrofo wo went here NDC for our chroma start can say hey nkrofo wo more party ni mu no they qualify if not more wo qualify kwa chen wo ete ho no enti hwe na ye ho bibi unkwa na ye father for all Professor Messi kwa ba kwa wawu and ya appointing ministers mafia wo kroma me catch say Monday morning show no ma start ne and the ministers no ho na ma sorry aba my coordinating director is doing well. My director is doing so very well because coordinating director and director will be quite man 50,000 Ghana since officer we are seeing now. Oh boy, that come 1 year. We got say we are semester after 1 year. My director is doing well. My director is doing well. Brefo say ya. Wow. So what is a minister catch us say ne coordinator or beto ne dada ne director beto ne dada or buane pa esika. Eska Esika Mafia, there's one ministry you have him body. One you put that there, what did you come a minister na kwaba? What's a home? What's a home? And you are for now, what that no minister. See, politics wrong. If you are not realist, you can't survive. Then you do so baba. And the ministries. Mweju ya fueti mijiji sika ekoma minister kwaba na wo ye minister de sika na mo akwaba say ya no mo ye muntaka eno mpiapia na no mo de chinchinga ne pampers mo kai chinchinga pampers NDC4 Miami party 4 mo mama dwen adwuma mafia meti se DUMSOR beba pepepe ye swear Mahama in once me Jimmy fans pa me drew Independence Square. It's a time I'm coach here, president. No, when you ask me, Captain, this fans is yours, so it's not mine. You see the way the crowd. I thought there was another president from somewhere coming. I didn't know it was you. So, any pebia was so, or the tendency of becoming selfish. And I'm going to DUMSOR beba. Many JB ni yetina had a catch NDC for say ECG, Ghana Water. Gridco, VRA, abine man and inco. Mahama went tie, and one because tie, if you and the MPP this or caniano, say the same if you did Abertoni. I don't know what the agenda home. Then Kwan Essi, then Abba, then Essi, won't go out time. Padis, ya catch us, Yabama DUMSOR. No, I'm a CEO that all. Kufuor ya ade bi na me ka wo esa ma ka kura pen e wa ha se opam Kofi Potofi opam Kofi Potofi ba kwena Kufuor pam Kofi no wan pam no o man krata se ko leave Kofi Missy Kufuor wan man krata se ma yiwadi o say wa bedi Nadbo boss enfie wotwe unko leave da eti Kofi na kohome di will leave ni nyina na why na di we ye adwa mfie wotwe a we leave so ye mfie wotwe ba ye ma Kofi Potofi krata woni bisa koko so hene na deliver mada and of first there's an operation koko so hene ya friend KD because of the kwakudua Kofi Potofi nko leave woni dey tia Kofi Potofi ko leave but when you not modest director bi edi woni say we say we wo utwa ne tia de aka ni nyina ahoma to Kufuor who say no say or transfer so Kufuor told Jacob Echebilamte say look, don't transfer anybody, don't ask the new ECG boss to transfer anybody, allow them to work, but what we need to do is to just change the head. I will not move. As soon as the head is changed, people will voluntarily leave their offices. When I was Afena Matias said Kufuor was adopting realist approach but had a liberalist face. And a Kofi Potofi kwatnafi. Kofi Potofi kwatnafi pa ana Sly Akakpovi Kasa Akakpovi Sly Akakpovi na oye Ashanti region NDC secretary Ekache NDC fwa wamuye Nadmo district director regional directors ni na say omfed banto obi ankofie Kufuor anya Kufuor na pamo anya Kufuor na pamo afa na oba pam Grico wa bra Grico menkan say papa na aye boni o ba say yo no a wakose ham na wie mame Korea video no bo MPP general secretary bo
yes but anya wanwa say ye kan nya ntimi ngina so Mahama na enim no 2012 to 2016 no once say o dada na Kaya 2012 equal 2016. Na Ghana fo nya kanea. Ye kanea ntumi ngina so. Ebra na Euro akofa Prez wetima hihye no mama kanea ngina so. NDC for by omotwe ko akire. Omanhene Mahama ebre mu ye den Ghana fo busa ne se opani ye dasum ye dwuma sei. Ye coast or egu e ma mo pamade omotimi pamade. Omo spray kan ntimi nya ho adu. Hey, I'll comment. When you
have an opposition,
yes.
Then the general secretary of the opposition, Ekasa say, then on him. Nana do buy one for quarter any. Ameka, your power generation, who back can and doom. Mojo home. Hey, Befia, this is a pure sabotage. What did my dear see here? Our 1999. Rollins Commission T1 every year, no. Debbie, something happened. Our 18th January 2000. 18 January 2000, BBC here. Rollins, your friends and Nana to Dazi and Nana to Ata. And I'm confused which of the artists and the Dazis, whichever, there's a Nanato. Hello, Nanato. I don't understand why anytime there's a major event in the Western region, the light will go off. This is what I want to do. I want you to call Kwame immediately and get back to me. Mubisa Kwame Hoy, so we are dancing. I want you to call Kwame immediately and get back to me. Within 3 minutes, not T1 manager say, oh, na yapamobia. Yapam one can hear nearby. Your brother will talk about your floor, Anaji, Sasane Cano, Anaji. Now, Anaji for the Sumusa, woman, yes. Sana mo bobo ano sada be ya papa uzu ankumane MPP for bobo ano sada be ya metimi atu NDC MP no on 2000. But omo tena ase amani siwie. So NDC lost the Takrady seat in 2000. But Rollins Emma I told that on the chief of staff no more. Ofre Kwame na wie no. Instructions are Kwame na hoy at the two table no so no. Wo mo digu akwam within 3 minutes wo mo pam Mpenifo na deda T1 na no epe de pafoforo besi hwa within 5 minutes mafia na kane na ba wa anaje na anaje kane na so enti mpamacho endi simpenifo nti munsuro Say wo akofa Mary abagana. Na napo atamde free ha Kumasi $38 million. Kania na ndum wo Kumasi. Wo a ukofa ade ne ba ye no, wo na wawo ba fe wo soma ba ne se menko. Eni si fom wo. Amari na desi Kumasi. Na so. Anamwa. Amari ho na de bai. Enye Mahama. Na me amede ade ne bai na fe de me ba ya ade ne me so enso. Na wo obi ti Kumasi. So your regional director, I have a wish I were the president. By now you are out of the space. Would you say Bra headquarters? Bra headquarters. Hey, why you say? Who about you? Who didn't pay you? Or best say what that? It's a me catch us. Me so be am pemasem. Into me, wish I mean so dummy. I mean found home. Be am pemasem. And if you are not careful as a leader, if you don't apply the realist approach, people will do you in. And John, Your Excellency, me show kutupa. Sabi we a penny chairman, mean show watch money. But the reality of the matter is that people have just raised antennas of sabotage against you. You think this is a joke? Professor Mason Kwabe president. Jay perform the be no. Oba you say T1 shame mafia. 2001 October. Mumusa T1. Ejafo Kufoya ya no say nipa ho ino bianko. No biako. Adiana ashina that time. No so we have $4 million and so metimi ya no. What for engineers if in crying. There was one man be a friend something smart. No ECG. Oba commercial manager kura. Womu koye, womu ko hwa no papa no a very fantastic man. Me am catch now. John, look for that man. John, look for that man. That guy is a smart chap. They fix the problem. Ghana by interest kabia. Professor Messi president at a free Professor Messi no. And a totobi kwachi. I said no. And a totobi kwachi na kasa pen for call all the regions. Okay. Moshe shebu na mo hade. Omre info. Omre info ni ba ye no. Na cha senkrofo bi hyase na omo ye. E kanya ma Ghana ye ni Lesotho. Ebo match ewo Kumasi ye dumkanea emakwaku ayindo ho e kasa head to row o kasa head to row pa na kanea ne back on sabere ne kanea na fidie na say no hwa na sesan John money now any say aba power bi mo Greek asanhye hey massa Greeko asanhye NDC shine your eyes. What trauma? I didn't share your mechanic doom. I'm a money go save you. I found a cup of Greekoni. A car huh? Smart. The king.
Enti, send me a minister. My responsibility can see a pan say. Sadiana man for try some bay. Me tackle, me diffuse. Me my president integrity no. And may attached or associated with DUMSOR. The AC in 2015 Kwame go for high buy. President Mahama negrity. Right? Yeah. But for the fact that at the end of the year so intensive, I will not buy. Ebekan. Ehun so ni bi. And you did 2 abatiano in 2016. And to be a minister, now with the energy sector, you must guide against it. What him say last year? I started say Baba Kakra. And I mean, the Omoye no handle. Yeah. And I'm Kanye ni Jina Swana for Ghana for you, okay. The Ghana ni plan is a Kwame, the Kanye Jina.
But cannot cram so.
Exactly.
Cannot crack my own dear.
And if the minister no cannot do anything to protect President Mahama's name against DUMSOR, you must go. Kwabena don't come in our energy sector, Omanhene.
Ministry no down.